When I first became a graphic design student, I thought my path would be learn graphic design, go get a job at a design studio, and then eventually get enough experience to then start my own business. But it seems the entrepreneurial bug hit me a bit sooner than that, because I soon found myself taking on clients and doing freelance work while I was still a student. And that experience was so valuable because as soon as I finished my course, I went full time as a graphic designer taking on clients, and I had a constant flow of work. And so that experience taught me that taking on freelance work while you're still a student is very valuable. And even if you don't want to become a freelancer or start your own business, it's still so valuable. So in today's video, I want to convince you why you should be freelancing while you're still a student. I'm Tabitha Emma and I'm a graphic designer, and I started full-time in 2010, just after I'd graduated from design school. But before that, I was taking on clients while I was still studying. And if you're a student, you might be thinking, how on earth could I fit that in? And how am I going to convince clients to even let me take work when I'm still a student? But it is possible. At the time, I was working a job at a fabric store, and I also had a long commute, and I was doing a lot of client work and side projects. I was blogging, I was selling stuff on Etsy, plus all the student work, of course. So I know it is possible, you can do it. There's a lot of downtime between classes and there's ways to fit things in. You've just got to be organized and have that drive and passion to actually be doing it. Because I can tell you now, it is so much easier while you're a student to have that practice, make the mistakes and give it a go. Because once you get pretty serious about it and it needs to be making you full-time money, that's when it's a lot harder to be making those mistakes. So it's important to get that practice and start learning and trying and, taking on those first clients while you're still a student. It can be richly beneficial to kickstart your career, whether it is you're going to work for a studio or work for yourself. So let's dive into some reasons why you should be freelancing while you're still a student. Firstly, when you graduate, you're going to be showing off a portfolio. So if you go to a design studio and you want to get a job, you're going to be showing them all your work. But if it's full of class project work, it doesn't show that you've had that experience to work with a real client and had that, actual real process where you've worked with a real person that's given you real feedback. So by having actual real projects from clients in your portfolio, it's going to really make you stand out from everyone else that is applying for those jobs. It'll show that you have that passion and drive and that you've, taken those steps to really push yourself out there and have a go at real client work. Even if you didn't do such a brilliant job or it could have been better or you made some mistakes along the way, it shows that you gave it a go, that you were willing to work with a real client and that you've had that experience. So it will show that you have real passion. It shows that you're not just doing that bare minimum, doing your schoolwork, following along, doing the assignments, but that you're really passionate about being a designer. So much so that you've been going out there, you've been seeking out real work. And that real work doesn't necessarily always have to be just client work, and it can also be things like entering design competitions and showing what following the brief for a competition. Or it could be you jumped on one of those sites where people bid, so you've still got a real client. Maybe they didn't choose your design, but you still worked to someone's real brief and gave it a go. Or it could even be doing jobs for friends, family, or local organizations or community groups. If someone out there is in need of some design help and they have no idea about design, but obviously you're a student, you're learning all about it, then you'd be able to help them. And if you have to do it for free, or if you do it for just a really low cost because you're still a student, you've helped that person out because they need some design work and you can do a lot better than they can. And then you're going to benefit because you've got a real project, some real actual client work to show. And it gives you that real experience, because when you show your project work off to your teachers, they're already designers. So obviously the way they give feedback and the way they critique your work is going to be different from the way a client gives you feedback, because a client is a designer. So the whole process is quite different, because you've got to actually educate that client. You've got to explain to them why you decided to do what you've done and why you think that's good design. Whereas your teacher's just going to be telling you, how it could be designed better. So it's a very different dynamic and different angle. And so that experience is really valuable. And it gives you that chance to make mistakes and learn that whole dynamic of working with a client, because you don't want to be messing up and making those mistakes once you go full time and you your money relies on that. You want a smooth process and be getting good at it. So while you're a student, it's a great time to practice, to learn, to get to know that dynamic and get to know how best to work with clients and how to approach them and create systems and ways of doing it so that it all runs smoothly, so that when you've finished your course and you're not a student anymore, that you'll be more confident and be able to do that really well. So it's going to give you that massive confidence boost, because you're going to start feeling like, I can do this. I can do this whole design thing. You're not just filling those make-believe briefs from schoolwork anymore. You're feeling confident because you're like, I know how to do this in the real world. I know how to deal with a client. I know how to get a client. I know, how to deal with their feedback, how to do invoices, all those little extra things that, maybe you're not learning so much at school. You're getting that experience and trying it out and learning by practicing and, making those mistakes and learning from them and getting better and better, so that by the time you have graduated, you'll be a way more experienced designer. And finally, it's going to help you get some great contacts. So this can be contacts including clients. You could pick up some clients that initially take you on as a student, and as you grow and get better, they want to stick with you and, remain clients. Or they could be people that are in the know, in the industry that you're really interested in finding clients, so that you can start making more and more contacts to find more clients. And it's also finding suppliers, so getting to know printers and making really good contacts there and starting to get to know some of those people, so that you'll instantly have people to turn to when you need that help. And so if you decide to start your own business, then you've got all these contacts all ready to go. And if you end up working for someone else, you've still got all these contacts that you can introduce, and they could become quite valuable to you as you grow with your career. So I hope that's convinced you that you should start freelancing while you're still a student. And this is going to be a bit of a video series. So this video was all about why you should be freelancing, but the next video I'm going to talk to you a bit more about how to do that. And then in the following one, we're going to go even further about how to grow that and, take it further once you've gone beyond that student stage. So let me know in the comments if you're a student and if you've taken any clients on, or if you've done any client work as a student. And if not, if you now feel convinced to give it a go and try that. And if you're interested in learning more about design, branding, and creativity, be sure to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.